What's up, everybody? Sorry we had a few technical difficulties, man, but we back. Y'all know what's up. Go to SBR Picks/NBA to check out all the articles and the NBA content that we have over there. I'm your host, Jay Money. That's my guy, Jordan Sharp. We're here to break down all these NBA games, man, or at least as many of them that we can, all the good ones, and then we'll get to some extra games, maybe some questions in the chat as well, man. I see they getting on me. They say, hey, man, come on, Jay, what you doing? What y'all doing with the show? So we appreciate everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching it live or you're going back to rewatch the show. We really appreciate everybody watching. Hit the like button if you like the content and share the show and subscribe as well. Jordan, what's up, bro? Everything good with you, my guy?
Yeah, all's well here. Sorry, I'll extend the apologies as well. But we promise we're gonna make it up to you today. Because I think we got some good picks here coming up for you. But yesterday was a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda for me, and then some disappointment with Ja Morant getting injured. First and foremost, that sucks. But I mean, congratulations to whoever jumped on the Grizzlies when that Kyrie injury news dropped during the day. That ended up being a very sharp play, even though they made you sweat a little bit after Ja got hurt, took it to overtime, and pretty much took care of business there. So anybody who's on the Grizzlies yesterday, they hopped on them. Congrats on that. My first quarter play did not work out too well in Portland and Lakers, but it was because Portland only scored 10 points in the first 6 minutes, and I still had a chance to cash that one even with that, and only missed it by 4 points, I think, or 5 points. So all things considered, I think I was on the right side of that one. Just bad execution. I know you were on Portland yesterday, so congrats on that to anybody who tailed. A little bit off on Houston yesterday, but that was another one where I was looking at it live, and they were down 23 points, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose this game by 20 points, and I have a chance to take Houston plus 20. Didn't do it. Ended up should have. I mean, and then OKC, obviously, I'm sure you're going to talk about that one. That was another one that I was kind of looking at that I thought about OKC. Everybody was dumping money into Utah, but overall, kind of a crappy slate yesterday, so I'm kind of ready to move past it. It was a lot of disappointment for me yesterday, so I'm ready to wear that off today.
Man, disappointment ain't even a word, man. I ended up adding some plays other than the show plays on the Jazz, man. And like you said, I mean, I know you're a fan of OKC. I'm still not a fan, but man, I mean, they made me one yesterday. The Jazz really, and so it was OKC that played good, but Jazz really came out there terrible, man. I mean, they started off the game 19-4. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And I kind of knew from there, but they still came back and took momentum. And you know how it is once you take the momentum. But still, even when they came back and made it close, they kind of still just bullshitting around where they really should have just put their foot on their necks. But the Jazz are double digits better than OKC, man. Even on a neutral floor, even on their squads, just they didn't come to play yesterday. And you see, they played that terrible and still end up winning the game by 1. So that was a terrible outing by the Jazz. In fact, you give up 19 points to this OKC team in the first 6 minutes of the game, and you only score 4 points. So it's pretty crazy. But I take the loss, man. Y'all troll me, whatever. I deserve it. It was a terrible play. Man, I couldn't even sleep last night, man. Trifecta loss for me on the Jazz, but did catch the Blazers though, so that made me feel a little bit better there. And other things is, and see, I'm gonna tell just real quick, Jordan. Now, see, if I had when I have a betting account, something like an injury, stuff like that, I would have smashed the Nets in the second half, man. I'll just be perfectly honest with you. You see what I'm saying? It was the play because I'm watching the game, everything. So Ja Morant go down, and it's already tip and tap, where he went down in the first half, whatever. So you thinking, obviously, in the second half, hey, the Nets finna take this one over. LeVert balling, and they still go out there and pitch that one away. That was pretty crazy.
Bro, that game.
That's a terrible beat there, Jordan, because, I mean, it went up to like -1.5 for the second half for the Nets. We have to talk about that because the Grizzlies came to play even without their best player out there.
Yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones is a pretty good fill-in, and you got great games from Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks yesterday. So that was a big part, I think, of Memphis is when and Valanciunas was just unstoppable on the boards too. He was a big part. I mean, Memphis, I think, deserves a lot of credit for that game. Obviously, Brooklyn missing a ton of pieces, so that you have to throw that in. But if you watch that game, basically the last 5-6 minutes of the game and then the entirety of overtime, like those teams just gassed. Every single shot was going short. Like it was over. Like you knew just that one team that could grab just a few more points was going to win the game. And that was definitely Memphis there right at the beginning of overtime, where I think they held Brooklyn scoreless in the first 2 or 3 minutes of that overtime. So yeah, it was probably one of the best games of the night for sure. Other than Portland and LA, I would say that the 2 NBA TV games last night were very much good presents, late Christmas presents for us. But yeah, I'm tired of talking about yesterday, man. I should have made way more money than I did yesterday. I lost some money yesterday, and I'm ready to get over it today with a couple of nice plays.
I lost some cheddar too, man. That Hawks game was pretty crazy as well. We know it closed at 10-10.5. They end up just winning by 8. So the Pistons came to play there, and the Rockets looked good for a while there, but then the Nuggets end up getting that one done. And that was a pretty crazy game as well. The Rockets pretty much ran out of gas in that one, so it is pretty crazy. Murray went down, then he came back, and the Blazers got it done over the Lakers there. And it was only 5 games yesterday, man. That's enough for that. Let's go ahead and get into today's games. First game of the day, man. We got the Bulls versus the Wizards, man. Wizards here. The line opened up at 4.5, 5. I'm not mistaken here. It was at 5. Been bet up to past 6.5 now. Jordan, what you think about this one? I know you're a real big Bulls fan. Do you think they can keep inside this number, or you think that the Wizards get their first win of the season?
I need to know the status of Lauri Markkanen before I really make a decision on the spread for this game, because he is, I think, in for a huge bounce back year for the Chicago Bulls. And if he's out, that's going to get me off of this spread. I do, however, because the total is just streaming upward, I was looking at some props for this one. I found one that I locked in already. It is the one official play I have for this one. And it is Thomas Bryant over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I got for a couple reasons, not just the total, but simply because I think this is a pretty good matchup for him. And he's been getting some pretty good usage rating with Bertans on a minute limit and no Rui Hachimura. So he's been getting a ton of playing time. You only got Robin Lopez really playing 16 to 18 minutes behind you. I think he's going to get 30 minutes tonight. And he should eat against the Bulls. This is a game where you should see a ton of points. His increased usage rate, 20% usage rating on a 238-point total. I will take just over 23 points, rebounds, and assists on him on the over in that one. So if you can bet some props, I'd like that one tonight on this game.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad play as well. It's actually not a bad play. Total opened up at 234. It's been bet up to 237.5. So money piling in on that over, man. I think we may have found Junior, guys. Guys, we're gonna bring in Junior. I know a bunch of people in the chat looking for him as well, man. Junior, what's up, my guy? Everything good with you, bro? Junior,
No.
You got the mute on.
Turn that mute off.
I know you're there, my guy. Nah, you there? You talking is just the mute. I think the mute button on. It might be on mute, but Jordan, what you think about that total? You think you might hit that over or what?
I'm done. I think the move has been missed. I would say if you got in on it early, that's probably pretty good. But I don't think I can touch it at this point. 237.5, I think is probably the longest total we have seen so far this season, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think you're going to see me dumping money into a market that's already seen a ton of action. 4.5 points almost swung in some directions, because I'm seeing some 238s on the board now. I mean, that thing just keeps going. So probably not going to be for me. I'll probably try to stick to just my lone prop bet on this one.
Got you. Junior, what's up, bro? You like the Wizards tonight versus the Bulls?
It's too many points. I like the opening line at 4.5. I don't like where it's sitting at 6.5. I think that's just about a point and a half too many. So I think the values with the Bulls taking the points, my money wouldn't go on that. But if I was interested in the Wizards, it'd have to be at a cheaper price. Sorry for holding up the show, guys. Just technical difficulties. Got a new setup in my place here, and just trying to figure things out. So the show got held up because of me, not because of these boys. So I just want to apologize for that.
Nah, you good, bro. Hey, you come on here with the picks, I guarantee you that people are not going to care. You come on here with some winning picks, man. That's the only thing that matters, man.
I had the Hawks first half yesterday, so try to keep it going today.
Yes, sir. And you cashed that, my guy. Yep. You cashed it. Yes, sir. Let's keep it going. But yeah, let's get to the next game. We got the so no play for me as well on that Bulls versus Wizards. Be real interesting one for me to watch. I do think that the Bulls, they don't necessarily have the greatest defense out here. So if the Wizards do want to get going, I do feel like that is a kind of sort of, you know what I'm saying, just what the doctor ordered up for them to play 3 tough games or whatever. So I mean, they was up versus a really good defensive team versus the Magic as well in that back-to-back spot. So be really interesting for me to see if the Wizards bust out here with Westbrook and Beal back on the floor together as well. So let's get to this next spot, man. What I want to talk about, the Celtics versus the Pacers, man. Really nice little back-to-back spot here. Some stuff we're going to see here, you know what I'm saying, in the season a lot. And y'all know the J Money, man, I'll be going back to the well with the losing team. With you know what I'm saying, like if the Celtics won the first game, if there wasn't a game-winning shot for the Pacers, I'd be on. If the Celtics won, I'd be on the Pacers in this one. Hadn't taken the Celtics yet. See the line flip to -1, even you know what I'm saying, -1.5 for the Pacers here. Some money's coming in on them, and they do look light years better here. Jordan, I want to ask you about your team. You think they can get it done over this tough Celtics team back to back, who's missing their starting point guard, Kemba Walker? What do you think about your Pacers? And they didn't have Oladipo last game either, Jordan. They get him back. You think the Pacers get it done back to back?
I think so. They'll get Depot back. He was just resting. That's going to be pretty much par for the course for him, basically, on any back-to-back. But, I mean, the Pacers just this is tough, I think, because Boston has presented problems for them in the past, but this is also kind of some motivational factor, I think, for the Pacers involved in that as well. And with a new coach, and like we talked about yesterday with the new offense, this team is going to be pretty consistently undervalued, and it's one of those ones where I missed the swing last night. They were 1.5-point dogs in my book, even money on the money line last night. I look at it 12 hours later, essentially, and they're flipped to favorites. I mean, so I kind of missed the move. I wish I would have jumped on that one last night, but I definitely leaned the Pacers' way in this one here. I think simply because they are an absolute horrendous matchup for Boston's front court problems right now. They can't decide if they want to play Tice or Tristan Thompson. Brad Stevens is talking about bringing Robert Williams out of obscurity and getting him some minutes to try to get them something on the defensive end down low. You're looking at two teams who can play a lot of defense, so it doesn't surprise me the totals dropped on this one at all. But I just think it's one of those where I think I kind of missed the move on both my leans last night. I wish I would have bet them on the overnight, but I did not. But if anybody who did grab some of that Pacers and under, I think you probably got a good side of that line. Now where the market's at, I think I'm probably going to stay away, though. I'm thinking about the Pacers, though. Strong lean, nothing official, though.
I feel like if you like the Pacers, you shouldn't be too scared away. If it's something that was +1 and it's moved to -1, I'm not gonna be too scared away. It's pretty much, I mean, like you're gonna want them to win. If you got somebody +1, you need them to win. You see what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying. It's kind of sort of from a value standpoint, but if it said they won, I like the Pacers, I'm still gonna take it. It's a tight game. But Junior, you know who's gonna be the savior for the Celtics here? Grant Williams. I couldn't even say it with a straight face, man. No, I'm just messing around with you guys. Junior, what you think about this spot, my guys? Celtics versus Pacers.
Yeah, the problem that the Celtics are having, on top of the things that Jordan mentioned, is that they're just not playing defense up to their normal standard. Right now, they rank last in defensive efficiency. And then you know that's going to change. There's no way that is going to stay the same. Brad Stevens has obviously already addressed that. I expect them to have a much better defensive effort. Not even to say they've been bad defensively, or they were, bad defensively against the Pacers, because they weren't. I just think they were a little bit unlucky to lose that game. I think that I'm actually really just taking the Celtics more so because of the price. If I can get them at +1, I have to take that in a 50-50 contest. I don't see why revenge spot. And especially the way they lost. I think that they come up with a much better effort on the offensive end. One of the biggest problems I've seen for the Celtics, I've watched all 3 of their games, is that they're not getting to the free throw line enough. Too many jump shots. When the offense goes cold, I think Jason Tatum, look, at 6'10", how many times are we going to see Jason Tatum settle for a 3 on the last second shot?
Right.
And even in situations where he's not down 3, like why did he take a 3 in that spot down 2? Like, dog, go to the hole. Stop being afraid. So I think that if I can see that, you have to imagine Brad Stevens is saying that, and he's going to say to these guys, like, listen, you got to be more aggressive, stop settling, get to the line, get some easy baskets, get the offense going, and I think the Celtics can pull it out. Again,
Miles Turner, 5.5 blocks a game. Miles Turner, though, maybe a little scared to take it to the hoop tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, get his ass in foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, listen, bro, and this is no disrespect to Miles Turner, who's a great defensive player, but if they're worried about Miles Turner,
I agree with you.
Stay home.
They got to get their James Harden on, man. Some of these players just really got to get in their head. Look, if this is
go to the line, dog.
This is the new NBA. If they breathe on you the wrong way, just got their hand on your back. You know, when you're going up in the air, they're going to call a foul, man.
It's
you have
points.
to know this. Like Harden is not the only person. He just drives in and kind of throws his body. If the new
Luka
NBA,
does it too.
You can throw your body into him and then go, oh, it's a foul, and they're gonna call it 9 times out of 10, man.
Luka, Trae Young.
Yeah, everybody does.
All the guys do it.
It's really the thing where, like, you notice it's today's NBA. Like, we know that the ref is gonna call. Like, they expect them to call it now. That's what I'm starting to see. Like, when they don't call it every time, it's like, oh man, come on, you're supposed to give me that. They expect it, but it's crazy. I'm always one to go back on the team that, especially the way that they lost. I do think that the Pacers are a better team this year. They didn't have Oladipo. Gives me a little bit of hesitation, but my whole thing is that the Celtics still, in my opinion, will come in the more motivated team. They're off 2 straight losses now. I liked them in their first game, so everything didn't work out, even though Oladipo didn't come to play. I really feel like they've been brewing. When you have a team that's been still in that same area and they've been brewing on their loss, they're finna come back in the same arena and face that same team. We just saw it with the Suns versus the Kings the other day. So, I mean, the teams, they tend to come back to play and be the more motivated team. I'd have to side with the Celtics in this spot, man. But let's get to the next game, another big one. Man, the Raptors taking money, guys. Raptors versus 76ers, guys. Line opened up at 76ers minus 2.5, and they still would have got money at that line, and it came down to -2, guys. -1.5 now for the Raptors. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys in the chat, man. If I take the 76ers here, I guarantee you the Raptors will look like world beaters tonight. It's just my kryptonite, man. Lean the 76ers here. They're a better squad this year. But obviously, I mean, the line coming back to it, man. The Raptors, we know they're going to be feisty here, Junior. What you think about this spot? Is it a get-right spot for the Raptors, even though they hadn't looked well and their bench hadn't performed either? I mean, their defense hadn't been there. What do you think? Are the 76ers ready to take that, get over that hump versus the Raptors?
I mean, I'm not a 76ers guy, right? So I took the Raptors plus 1.5. The 76ers, I think they just need – listen, and I'm going to stop hating on the 76ers for a second. They need time. Doc Rivers needs time to figure out what's the best way to utilize the pieces that he has, because clearly there's talent there, but people haven't been able to – or Brett Brown wasn't able to figure out where to put those pieces to make them work. I still think they have a lot of those same problems when I watch them. No disrespect to Seth Curry, but I think Seth Curry is actually a downgrade to Josh Richardson in the sense that – sure, he's a better shooter, but he's also like a pylon on defense compared to Josh Richardson. Dudes are getting past Steph Curry left, right, and center in these games and getting into the paint. I think that he's going to have a really, really tough time with Fred VanVleet, to be honest with you. Steady Freddie ain't shy now that he got his money about putting shots up. So I expect Freddie to come out. They got a lot of guys on Toronto. That's going to cause these guys some problems. If I can get the Raptors to plus points, because I think it's a 50-50 game, honestly. Boucher's out here balling. They got Baines. So they got a couple of guys who obviously are no match for Embiid, but at least it's not like they have no size. They still got guys with a little bit of size. No, Embiid's going to eat. I'm not dumb.
Yeah. But those guys also have 12 fouls between them too. So
yeah, but those guys are gonna foul the shit out of him. Yeah. Like that's just the way that's gonna. You know, Aaron Baines is not gonna be shy against Embiid. So
hacking
Embiid basically.
I feel like if I can take points in a 50-50 game, I'm gonna do that. And again, I'm admitting my own bias. I just think the 76ers are not who they're gonna be right now. And I'm going to fade them until they look better. The way that they got blown up by the Cavs, I was watching that game. That was awful. It wasn't like the Cavs were playing. No, 76ers were just terrible, bro. So
you have to put that into the handicap, in my opinion. So to me, Jordan, the Raptors haven't looked the same. But the main thing, and I do think the 76ers are a better team than them this year. Maybe not. Junior did say something. Maybe not have to put it together right now. But one huge thing is that they're coming off a terrible loss. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's going to motivate them as well. If the 76ers maybe coming in off a loss in the Raptors, like they're coming in 2-0, Raptors coming off 0-2, I can really see why, you know what I'm saying, this line's coming back the other way. But then with the 76ers coming off a terrible loss as well, and they're at the house. I could maybe even see they're on the road. It just kind of feels to me like, just me personally, like especially because I feel like when the Raptors struggle versus the Spurs, I feel like they really might struggle against the 76ers if they put together a decent offensive game as far as obviously Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, because I really feel like just having Baines down there, the main thing with Embiid, I mean, even Marc Gasol kind of sort of used to give him fits, but mainly Ibaka, I mean, they really just moved Embiid the wrong way, Jordan, and now he didn't have to deal with that. It's really kind of crazy. Oh, Al Horford listed out Tuesday. It's just crazy, man. I just really feel like that the line is super short. But Jordan, what do you think? Do you think that the 76ers can take that step? And I feel like this is probably one of their chances to kind of say, look, F you, Raptors. But the Raptors just seem like they're in disarray right now with them not being at the house and comfortable. Jordan, what you thinking, my guy?
Yeah, I have so many thoughts on this game. I think you both make extremely valid points. It's probably one of the reasons why I'm just going to stay away from this one entirely. I do kind of agree with Junior, though. If I think I had to break the tie here, it is surprising to see that the way that both of these teams look, that anybody is willing to bet on either of them right now until we kind of see a little more from them. But I mean, mainly because of I think the Raptors is just that they're still trying to figure things out just a little bit, but they are the little more established team. And I think we've talked about Junior especially has been very high on fading teams with a lot of roster turnover and new head coaches, and that would kind of fit the bill here. So it doesn't surprise me that he's on the Raptors at all. And I think that if you look at this, a little bit of an undervalued injury, maybe Furkan Korkmaz being out for the next couple of weeks, that takes away a shooter from them. Not much of a defender, so we're going to get a little more Matisse. Yeah, but now I think that does hurt them, because this is already a team that we've talked about. It was derelict of shooting last year. They tried to make some changes in that, but now you're talking about more Danny Green minutes as well. I don't want to get this chat started on Danny Green, so I'll just move on around there and just say I do not have a play on this game.
He should be playing. He should be playing with a burglar mask on.
I will not trash multiple-time NBA champion Danny Green, but
multiple-time thief.
I will say that the Raptors are appealing. I'll say that the seeing them shorten a little bit here is not terribly surprising, but it makes a lot of sense, because I think without they're as good or better at every position other than center in this game. I mean, I think if they can get Embiid frustrated by just like Baines is known to be able to do, and if Boucher can continue to play like he has been, I'm a big Chris Boucher fan. So I mean, I think that they have the pieces to cover and win this game, but it's just like Jay was talking about. The one thing keeping them away from is Philly is gonna, I think, figure it out eventually. I just don't want to be on the wrong side of it when they do figure it out.
Like I say, if the Raptors were the team of old, maybe I could see this not. But just the way that they look this year, and I know that they're going to be coming too. Like, they don't want to start off 0-3. Hadn't necessarily looked good, but like I say, if they've had troubles in their first couple of games with the Pelicans and the Spurs, I really feel like the 76ers are going to be coming tonight. And if they are, I mean, because you look at the matchups. Ben Simmons is a matchup nightmare. Like, Lowry can't keep up with Ben Simmons. Like, seriously, like if Ben Simmons gets in the post with Lowry or Van Fleet on him, like, seriously, bro, there's damn near 2 points or a foul every time. We know if one of those guys get in foul trouble, it's going to get ugly. So, like I say, 76 at the house minus a short number. Like, I might have to get on this one, but it's really crazy. The Raptors have my number. I'm telling you guys, they have my number. If I hop on the 76ers, them boys are going to look like the championship Raptors again, but I don't know if they have it in them. I don't know if when their second unit comes in, they have it in them. The defensive mindset is there, but the offense is not there right now, guys. I really think if 76ers get going, they can win this one by double digits, man. It's the way I'm thinking. I hadn't got there yet. I see the line going the other way. It might go to one. But we just breaking down the game. I like to come on here with my guys. They might talk me into play, or I might talk myself into play. Just talking it out, man. But bless you if there was a sneeze, my guy, if it was a sneeze. But next game up. Another big one. Bucks versus Heat, guys. Bucks versus Heat. Line opened up at -4.5. It's up to 5.5 now for the Bucks, man. I can't say I agree with the line move, guys. I do agree with it. It's still a 5 out there at BetOnline as well. It's another playoff revenge, man. I've been 3-0 so far with them this year. I don't know if I'm gonna hop on this one. Heat still know how to play the Bucks, but they were without Jimmy. That hurts here. Bucks, they're coming off a terrible loss. And they're coming. Playoff revenge. Jordan, what do you think? Do the Bucks get their playoff revenge? Do they get over the hump?
That's I'm with you guys on the Bucks this year, man. Until I see it, I don't think I'm a believer. The Nets are clearly taking over, kind of. I mean, yeah, the Nets they're wavering just a little bit recently, but I mean they're going to take over as kind of the overall favorite in the East. And the Bucks, I mean, just we talked about it after that starting five. I got a ton of questions. I got questions basically at every position outside of their starting five, and against a team even without Jimmy Butler, even without their best player, is so deep at guard that it may not even matter because the Heat have one of the deepest backcourts in the league. Like I'm close to taking the Heat here plus 5.5. One of my leans, even without Jimmy. I think that's probably the one thing that's keeping me away from it here. But I don't trust the Bucks right now. I don't trust their defense. I don't trust their bench. I really don't trust their coach that much. I think the Heat have still have the better bench even without Jimmy tonight. Down their best player. They're still a deeper team. I'm not there yet, but. Heat aren't looking that bad right now to me. I'm not gonna lie. Call me crazy. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Junior, am I wrong?
They only look good one game though. That's the only thing with the Heat. Like they still haven't. They almost like the Raptors. They're still asleep. Yeah, they're still. Yeah, they definitely like they have a little bit of a hangover. They kind of sort of got together.
This is the kind of game that could wake that up, though.
Now you are right. Like I say, but the fact that Jimmy's not out there, obviously, that's their heart and soul.
For sure.
Avery Avery Bradley really hadn't got, you know what I'm saying, well acquainted over there yet, like he should. Mo Harkless he's good for 4 fouls in the first half. I'm telling you, like in every preseason game, he fouled out in like 10 minutes of play. I'm not lying. Harkless has not worked out so far. I'm not just a hater on him, but. When they start getting going, you'll see Bradley probably in their starting lineup. And that's another – he just hadn't got going. He hadn't got comfortable with the Heat. A lot of new pieces, no continuity right now. What's up, Junior? You liking the Heat? Oh, and what's up? You right down the street from there. What you like? You taking your hometown boys plus 5.5, my guy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I knew it.
Why you like the Heat, my guy?
Why do I like the Heat? It's more so the same theory because I see everyone in the chat trying to tell me that the Raptors are not as good as they were last year. Hey, congratulations. You notice the Raptors are not as good as they are. Like, come on, dog. Like, is that really what you're trying to tell me? I get it. The Raptors are not as good as they were last year. This as far as this game, the Bucks don't look as good as they were last year either. It's still very, very early. It's too early to say that. But I'm taking the Heat plus 5.5 for one simple reason. They're playing defense still. And their defense was literally the Bucks' kryptonite last year. I think they're going to bring a lot of that same energy. I think they have absolutely no fear of this Bucks team. And if you're going to spot me almost 2 possessions, oh, no, you're spotting me 2 possessions basically, right? So, yeah, no, I'm good. 5 plus 5.5, I'll take that in my pocket in honor of the homie. Teddy Covers.
Got you. Yeah, I'd be looking towards the Bucks here, especially like maybe in a first half spot. I think they come out. You look at their last game, terrible game versus the Knicks. Their terrible spot. When you really look at, and that's why you have to look ahead to see who teams play as well. If I would have looked ahead, I would have probably took a little shot on the Knicks. They're not just saying because I hate when people do that after the game. Oh, we should have been. Oh, so and so. I don't do that, but just seeing that the Bucks had a huge game on deck with playoff revenge versus the Heat, the team that put them out their playoffs. I should have been taking double digits at the house with the Knicks in that spot, but I didn't even look into it. It's just because that's why we have to look into every game. But that was a huge look ahead spot. They were looking ahead to this game. Obviously, didn't care. This is a huge game for the Bucks, for Milwaukee, for Giannis, for Drew Holiday, for their new pieces over there. I would say they've had this one circled. The playoff revenge angle has cashed 3 times so far this year. So only thing I'm saying, one time the team was up by effing 50 at the half. It was 77-27, the Mavs, and they was on the road. So it happens, man. It'll be interesting to see. I'm scared of the Bucks as well. I can't lay it with confidence, but I definitely lean the Bucks, especially last night. They're 4.5. It's went up. I agree with it. And if I had to take something here, I'd be on the Bucks in the first half to come out with hunger, with motivation, and with all types of motivation. And they're pissed. Man, and they're pissed. But that's the last thing I got on that one. Jordan, he looks on the total on this one, my guys, and he looks on the total. I gotta ask you that, Jordan. What you thinking? First half total here?
I'm kind of surprised that with Jimmy out, the total has gone up. I figured it would kind of go the opposite direction. So I think for that reason, just being a little surprised by that. I mean, I'm not surprised it would have gone up a little bit, but it's gone up almost 4 points. That's a lot. So. that maybe kind of lean under just for like you kind of reasons you were mentioning with the playoff revenge kind of factor. The fact could be a little chippy, could be a little intense early on, which could lead to some lower first quarters. So maybe, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going against the steam. It is a lot of points for a game with you when you're missing 20 a game from Jimmy. But that being said, like I said earlier, the Heat have so many guys that could fill in and give you buckets from that position that I just think it's probably one I'm just going to stay away from on the total here. I'm trying to get to some totals, y'all. I'm serious. I know we're waiting on it, but it's just hard.
We're leaning on you, bro.
I got another one. We're going to talk about this next game. We'll talk about the total here in just a second. But it's like it's hard because I'm over reliant on last year's numbers. You can't do that when you bet totals, and there's not enough game info this year to go off of. So I'm kind of like I said in our first show, I'm really trying to hold off. I know I took a derivative total last time. I'm really trying to hold off on totals until I get about 5 or 6 games from each of these teams, so I can actually get a little bit of a sample size for them. It's hard because I think my numbers are all over reliant on last year, so I don't want to be that because things can change year to year. Which I mean, good segue into the next game. We can talk about that just as much.
Let's get to it, man. The Pelicans versus the Suns, man. Line moving all over. Line opened up at 3 for Suns. Went to 3.5. Can't necessarily say I understood why. I can't necessarily say I understood why. Back down to 2.5. Now I'm like, okay, that kind of the Pelicans better than the Suns, man. I know everybody love the Suns and they're the darling squad, but the Pelicans are some beasts this year, man. I think this game should be a little bit closer to pick. You asking me, Jordan, what you think about this one, and what's your thoughts on the total? Open up at 222.5, down to 222, my guy.
Yeah, I did see also that I think Dario Saric making his season debut for the Suns as well, so that gives them another shooter off the bench. So that does make them, I think, a little bit of appealing from a spread perspective. But this is exactly what I was talking about with this total. Last year, this game, 222 points. This total would have been 235 points last year, and that's why I was kind of talking about this briefly a second ago. Is just because when I handicapped this total this morning, this was the one that I started looking at first, and I thought, surely this is going to be a great overplay. I was like, and that was before kind of the steam started hitting the under. And then I kind of started thinking about it more. I was like, you look at the Suns, who now have Chris Paul, who's basically like a pace killer in that he's one of the best half-court players in the league history, basically, in efficiency wise. So, I mean, of course the Suns are going to slow down their pace when you have that player on your team. They don't need to run and gun as much anymore. They have a great half-court offense. They have tons of weapons in the half court, so they can slow things down. And Stan Van has slowed this team down, and both teams have been playing really good defense to start the year. So you factor all those things included. I mean, I flip-flopped completely on this one. I went from looking at the over to completely going to stay away from this total. If you jumped on the under, you may even be on the right side, because that may be just completely that my handicapping was skewed by last year's statistics, whereas I think pace is going to, for these two teams, is going to drop considerably from where it was last year, continue that trend, and the defense seems to be improved on both ends. We'll see if that, little more suspect on that, but for right now, it's going to keep me away from this total.
Dude in the chat say that's because Chris Paul too slow to run up and down. Junior, what you think about this one, my guy? Suns minus 2.5 at the crib. What you like in here, my guy?
No official play, but I lean Pelicanos. There's one thing that I've noticed about the Suns that I don't really like, and it kind of plays into the hands of something that's working well for I know I used to call them the Pink Birds. Those are Flamingos. I almost said Pink Birds, but the Pelicanos have been playing defense without fouling. They're giving up the least amount of free throws per game so far after a couple games. And the Suns don't really get to the line too much. If you just look at all their players, none of their players are really getting to the line very much. So if the Pelicans are going to have a big edge in free throws, I think that's going to be enough for them to hang around. We definitely know that we could count on two guys. I mean, Zion and Ingram, you could book those guys for 45 to 50 points a game right about now, right? So I really, really like the fact that I can walk into a game knowing that I got two guys that can give me consistent scoring, whereas Devin Booker's always a walk-in bucket. But the Suns have been doing it more by committee. Chris Paul is averaging a little under 13 a game. Michael Bridges, a Villanova kid, so you know I love him. He stepped up, but I just think that what the Pelicans do, to me personally, like you just mentioned, Jay, I think the Pelicans are a better team than the Suns right now. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying from what I've seen in the first couple of games, the Pelicans look like the better team. Who on the Suns is going to slow down Zion? I'd really love to know that. And really, Brandon Ingram he can't be stopped right now. Hand in his face, no hand in his face. He's just a bucket. So I'm going with the new look Pelicans that seem to be playing some defense and always have the ability to get points themselves.
Exactly, and they struggled. The Suns, and the way I look at it, really, if the Suns struggle with the Kings, man, they're gonna struggle with these Pelicans, bro. These Pelicans are like they can play and off a loss as well. No, they off a win. They won, but they didn't cover the spread. But be interested to see. It's definitely a game I'll be watching, man. Be interested to see. Maybe the Suns come out hot. You hop on the Pelicans second half. They have tend to kind of let teams come and smack them in the mouth. So be interested to see if the Pelicans come out hot or if they it'd be a nice little second half spot. But that's it. All the games is on the rundown, guys. Any other games you want to talk about, Jordan, that you have a play on? Is there an extra game you have anything to talk about before we get to best bets?
Other than my prop and maybe the Pacers, the one other game that I am real close on is the Sacramento Kings tonight, taking 2 points at home. Speaking of teams that are underdog, that are better than the team that's favored, I think that's exactly the case here for reasons that we have talked about in the recent past with Denver, who is coming off of a back-to-back tonight. Sacramento is coming off their first loss of the season, and they just look like a really good team right now. They got Harrison Barnes playing well. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying some of that. I mean, their front court's deeper. We've talked about Denver's depth issues. Like you're telling me that Hassan Whiteside or Rashawn Holmes or even Gary Giles versus Isaiah Hartenstein tonight off the bench. Yeah, they got Bagley playing well. I mean, they're a better team. I'm real close to taking this 2 and a little sprinkle on the money line with the Kings tonight. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think the Kings are the better team right now, especially with Denver coming off a game last night and not an easy game at that, I don't think. I mean, yeah, they were up for a little while, but they had to close that game. They had their best player that went out and came back in. Who knows what his status is going to be for tonight? So a lot of things leading me towards the Kings tonight. I don't know. We'll see how the late games I usually try to wait on a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to on this one. We'll see.
Exactly. So Isaiah say, "Will Nugs rest anyone?" Exactly. Murray went down with a little head injury. He came back. That's definitely something to watch. If they maybe rested Jokic or something, could be huge. Could be huge. Junior, any thoughts on this game or any other games you're looking at, my guy, before we get to best bets, my brother?
I'm really, really interested to see what Minnesota does today against the Clippers, because the Clippers obviously got motivation after getting embarrassed. But we were talking about it yesterday. I really like the pieces that the Wolves have. It's unfortunate that Karl Anthony Towns.
Kogi tonight too.
Yeah, Kogi. Yeah, I saw that he went down. Karl Anthony Towns is out for a while with a I don't know if it's a broken or fractured wrist. Yeah. So that's obviously not great. Not really trying to get in the business of getting involved with Minnesota on the road without Karl Anthony Towns. At the exact same time, though, 10.5 is still a lot of points. And I swear to you, Minnesota's got bodies. So I'm really interested to see, now that Cat's gone, a lot of these young guys are going to have to step up and do a lot of things. The young big man that Jordan mentioned yesterday, his name is getting away from me right now. Naz Reid. He looks like he's a player. So I'm interested to see what Minnesota's going to do, just to learn a little bit more, because I think there's going to be some value on the Wolves for a little bit before the market catches up.
Got you. I wouldn't bet against the Clippers tonight, though. I'd be looking towards Clippers in the first half, and I wouldn't bet against them full game. Like I said, if there's anybody ever motivated, you just got NBA history made against you. Trust me, these are spots in NBA that you might want to hop on. I'm not going on it. It's a bunch of points, but that Clippers first half is, in my opinion, a super strong play. Like I say, when you get NBA history made against you, you want to come out and make some history your damn self. They're gonna want to be up by 30 at the half, and this one wants to be. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen, but it's a huge bounce back spot for the Clippers. If you listen to the show every day, then you already knew this. I told you this the other day. But Jordan, what's your official plays, my guy?
Yeah, only thing that I have official right now is my prop on Thomas Bryant, 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think he eats against the Bulls tonight. And then lean Kings, lean Pacers. I'm going to get on one of those. We'll see which one it is.
Gotcha. I see him in chat. OKC Magic. If Hill and Horford out, I might take the Magic, but I need to see if Magic resting somebody. Be interesting to see, man. It's a back-to-back for OKC. Horford out for sure, man. I'm not taking no damn OKC. They screwed me off yesterday. Yeah, I want to be mad and take the Magic, but I'm Junior. What's your picks, my guy?
The Magic are for real though. I'm not laying
They are. Yeah.
I'm not laying 6.5 with them, but all of their players are playing well at the same time. And obviously, you guys know that's pretty rare. They're clicking. They're all, and I think the biggest reason they look much better is that they've really picked up their pace. Markelle Fultz is playing with the most confidence he's ever had, and they're like 5th in the league in pace right now. So if they can pick up their pace and get more points and play some defense, they could be a problem. But I know we got to go. So my official plays are I'm taking points with the Celtics plus 1.5. I'm taking points with the Raptors plus 1.5. Sorry, the Celtics, I got them at +1, but I see it at plus 1.5 on the board here. I got them at +1. I got the Raptors at plus 1.5. I see 88% of the money on Sixers. Love it. And I got, sorry, my last pick was Miami plus 5.5.
Got you. Yeah, I'm miss a bunch of leans. No officials for me right now, but I probably will ride with my guy Junior on that Celtics, man. That's the one I've been thinking about. That's the one I've been thinking about since last night with Celtics, and now it's a better number, plus 1.5. I lean the 76ers, man. I lean Cavs, 76ers, Bucks first half. Magic, lean Pelicans, lean Kings, man. I know it's a lot of leans, but man, it's like preseason for some of these damn teams, man. I'm real straightforward, man. When it comes to my cheddar. Yeah, Horford out. Yeah. Horford out. So, and Hill's questionable. So if both of those are out, I might have to sprinkle a little bit on the Magic, man. But I'm finna go see maybe if my local still got the 5, man. I'm gonna holler at you boys. I know somebody asked about college play. I was thinking about Dixie State, man. Thinking about Dixie State. They damn near getting 40 versus Gonzaga, back-to-back for Gonzaga. If Suggs don't play, I probably have a little on Dixie. They gonna come to play. They can lose by 35, and we still get the cash, man. We getting a boatload of points. Gonzaga hadn't won by more than 38 points all year, man. They don't put the foot to the gas. There's no need. There's no need, man. Just trying to get the win. We're going to get out of here. Y'all come back and holler at us tomorrow. Y'all hit the like button if you like the content. Go to SBR Picks/NBA to check out all the articles that we have over there. We appreciate you guys for jamming with J Money. Back tomorrow.